to show you how I built this dulcimer all by myself. Almost. First, I laid out all my materials on a large, flat surface and checked to see if everything was there. A cardboard body, a center brace, the fingerboard, the bridge, 4 tuning gears, 4 bushings, 8 small screws, 4 thick nails, 4 thinner nails with ends clipped off, a pile of toothpicks, and a set of strings. Then I checked to see if I had all the tools I needed. A butter knife, some glue, a small Phillips screwdriver, some snippers, a small hammer, and some books for weights. I ended up actually needing 3 of them. These are some other things you might want to have on hand. A straight edge, a string winder, some sandpaper, a tuner app on your phone, and some paint for decorating your dulcimer. I started by rubbing the lines on the cardboard with a butter knife to make an indentation so that it would make a clean fold. I didn't have to push hard, and it didn't matter if the knife went through the top layer of paper. When I folded the cardboard over, it was easy and it made a nice clean fold. I did this with all the lines. Once all the folds were made, it was time to position the center brace. I found the place in the center of the back where it fit perfectly between the 2 folds. Then I marked it with a pencil. I poured a thin line of glue along one edge and placed it right where the line was. Then I put a line of glue along the top edge. I folded the 2 sides together and set the top part on the brace. There was actually a small gap where the top parts met, but that's okay. Then I put one of the books on top to hold it in place. This made it easy to fold the end flaps underneath the top parts without it coming apart. I didn't push the flaps all the way in yet, not until I could put a line of glue near the edge. I made sure I pushed everything together firmly. Then I put a weight on it. My dad found another weight for this, but he said another book would have worked fine. I did the same thing with the other end. When everything looked good, I set it aside to dry for about 45 minutes. While I was waiting, I could work on the fingerboard parts. I took one of the bushings and placed it over some of the holes on the inside end of the fingerboard. Then I slid my knife through and pushed it firmly into the hole as far as it could go. I did the same thing with the other 3 bushings. You can see how I had to make sure that the turning gears were on the correct side and in the right direction. There were 2 for the left side and 2 for the right side. There were some holes already drilled in the wood, so it was easy to see which tuners fit where. It was kind of difficult to put the screws on, but I managed, with a little help from my dad. My dad made sure all the screws were tight. Now it was time to put on the nails that the strings would hook onto. The holes were already there, so I didn't have to pound very hard. The nails needed to stick out just enough for the strings to loop over. By that time, the box was all ready, so I got ready to glue on the fingerboard. I put 2 thin lines of glue on the back of the fingerboard, where it would come in contact with the body. And placed it on the top like so. And then put some books on top to weigh it down. After waiting 45 minutes, it was time for the fun part, putting on the frets. I poured some glue on a small card. Then I dipped one edge of a toothpick into it. And carefully placed it right on top of the marks, so both ends were sticking out evenly. After I was done gluing them, I gave them a little push. I waited for the glue to dry, then took my snippers and snipped the ends off. The little nails were for holding the strings in place along the nut. My dad called them string trees. I put a dot of glue on the card and dipped the ends in. Then I pushed them through the holes until they were just sticking out a little. It was time to string up my dulcimer. Starting with the thinnest string, I hooked the loop over the nail. Holding it down snugly, I placed a book over it so it wouldn't move around or pop off the end of the nail. Then I stuck the other end in the hole on the corresponding tuner and pulled it through. I did not pull tight though. Actually, I kept it very loose. Then I brought it around, back up through to the top, and back through the same hole. Now it was time to give it a tug to lock the string onto the tuner. I started to turn the knob clockwise to tighten the string, but not too tight yet. I still needed to position the string on the other end. I had already put marks where I wanted them to go. They were pretty much the same markings that I saw on the bridge. The next string was put on the same way. except that I had to make sure that I went between the two string trees. I accidentally wound the string too tight, as you can see, but no problem. I just loosened it a bit so it could be moved to the right position. The next string was the middle string, and it pretty much went right down the middle. With the last string, I didn't need to pull it through the hole twice, but I kept it very loose and had to wind it a lot more. Once I was sure all the strings were in position and they were tight enough not to move around, then I could snip the excess off the ends with my snippers. I took the bridge and slid it under the strings. Making sure that they stayed on the marks. I pushed it all the way to the end, then I moved it back out this far. Using a tuner app on a smartphone, I started turning my dulcimer. I tuned it pretty close to being fully tuned, but there was one more very important step. The bridge needs to be in exactly the correct position in order for the dulcimer to play in tune. This is called calibrating. Using my tuning device and my ear, I plucked the middle string, then I held my finger down on the 8th fret. If I didn't hear the same note 1 octave higher, then my bridge was in the wrong position. In my case, the note had a lower pitch. That meant that I needed to move the bridge closer to the frets. I kept moving it, little by little, until I heard the same pitch on both the open string and the octave.
Perfect.
The tuning app on my phone also showed the same note.
Good.
Now, I could tune my dulcimer one final time. It was ready to play.